name's Will and welcome to the Distorted Transmission for today. I am talking to one fella from Holy Crime. How are you?
Not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Pretty good, thanks. Starting off intros. Who's in the band, including yourself? What do you do? All those things.
Yeah, well, my name's Benjamin Richards. I'm the frontman and rhythm guitarist in Holy Crime. The band also consists of Tom Anderson on the bass, Jacob Staffen on lead guitar, and Matt Hinton on drums.
Although we did have an interview about 10 months ago, if you could just run through the brief history of your band for the benefit of the people who didn't watch the last one.
Yeah, so Holy Crime began in mid 2022. Since then, we've just been releasing a couple of songs and just getting ourselves used to the live circuit around Auckland. We played some great gigs, and yeah, just spent the last year and a half just sort of just beginning, and now I think we're entering a really good stage.
Nice and easy. I interviewed you back in April last year, as I just mentioned, so it's been about 10 months since we last spoke. At the time, you had released your first song from memory. I think it was called Play Toy. Actually, I think it was like the December that had just gone, so it was already about 5 months prior. However, you were also planning to release an EP last month called Nowhere Bound, and you had a tour lined up to support the release, but that was postponed. So what was the situation, if you want to talk about it? Has it been rectified, and are you here to tell me new tour dates or something along those lines?
Yeah, so we originally planned for the EP Nowhere Bound to be released Christmas last year. Um, but as always, things don't go smoothly. And it became aware end of last year that the EP wasn't going to be out for time in Christmas. So we decided that we would drop the lead single and still do go ahead with the shows that we had planned. And the first show was going to be up in Wellsford at the Saloon Bar. And 2 nights before the show, the gig got cancelled out of our control. So we just ended up cancelling it, and then we're like, all right, we're not going to push this EP too crazy. We're just going to wait and see what happens, and drop a song and just write it.
So do you have new tour dates? Is it all formalized or?
No, not at this stage. We just had one gig last week with Moonshine and the Almighty, but that was in support of Moonshine's debut single. We haven't got any other gigs coming except for one in April with Shoeless, Capricorn, Esmond. That's a Ding Dong Lounge. But in the meantime, no. We are planning on doing some booking our own gigs, headline gigs and that, but that all comes down to when we get the EP out. That's our main goal, is just to get it out and release.
Well, I presume that maybe it was to announce the new tour dates, but is there something else going on at the moment?
Well, I thought, it's time to have another chat and just put ourselves back out there. But also, we did just release the title track from the EP, Nowhere Bound. So
Right.
I was hoping to talk about that, give it a bit of promo if I could.
I went on Spotify and you had 3 songs on there. One of which was from the new track from the EP, and I thought, oh, maybe the EP's just like you're going to bundle those 3 tracks and sort of release them as perhaps like a physical copy or something like that. But from what you just said, you released the title track from the EP itself, so there are actually more tracks involved there that haven't been released. Is that right? How many tracks are there?
It'll be a 5-track EP. Crystal will not be featured on it, but Play Toy we will be including on this EP for sure. So there's 3 more songs that haven't been released yet.
Okay, and these are songs presumably you've been playing around town for a while.
Oh yeah, every song on this EP actually was written and practiced back in 2022. So
Okay.
it's almost like the foundations of Holy Crime, really. So anybody who's been coming to our live shows since we've begun will know most of these songs.
Did you kind of halt the release of the EP because the tour fell through? So when you recreate the tour, you'll drop the EP. Is that the plan?
No, we're not actually too sure. It comes down to our producer. We're still waiting on him to finalize the last few tracks. But I mean, just tonight, as we're doing this interview, our lead guitarist Jacob Staffen is up at the studio re-recording some guitar parts on the songs that are yet to be done. Because we got sent back the rough versions of them, and he decided he didn't like his guitar solo, so off he went to go change them. So Hopefully it won't slow down the process too much, but yeah, hopefully we're looking at sort of end of March, maybe early April release.
I mean, that's not too far away, maybe 4 or 5 weeks or so. Okay.
Yeah.
On one of the posts when I was going through your Facebook, as I usually do, like a little troll, I noticed that you were going to do a show, and you mentioned that your band was going to play some covers. You're going to play your covers set, and it sort of dawned on me that perhaps your band is a little bit different than most, where you have a covers set. So I guess your band's kind of multi-purpose in that fashion. And how often do you play sort of a covers set as opposed to playing your originals?
Yeah, well, that all started last year. A great friend of the band called James, he had his 30th birthday party, and he came up to us and he said, "Oh, look, I'd love you guys to play at my party." And we were like, "Sweet, of course." And then he sent us a list of like 25 cover songs that he wanted us to learn, especially for the party.
Right.
And damn, that was a rough few weeks trying to get those down, eh? But we did it and we had a great time. And then around the same time, our drummer Matt, his uncle purchased the saloon bar up in Wellsford, and they asked us to come do some shows up there, and we were like, all right, but he wanted us to do covers, so we were like, okay, sweet, we'll do our cover set. And then we had another gig in November, a 60th party for another friend of the band's, and that was another covers set. So we've kind of had this. Well, the end of last year, we were pretty much a covers band, and cutting our teeth on all these old classic songs and that. So as much as we sort of weren't too sure about it at first, it's now become an avenue that we can take just to make a bit extra cash on the side or something, and we're actually in talks to play some gigs at a new rooftop bar in Auckland City who was looking for some cover bands. So yeah, we might just do that when we've got nothing else going on.
I mean, if you do a wedding or something, you can earn thousands of dollars if you actually hone your skills.
For sure. And I mean, some of the songs that get requested, like I'll say them and I'll be like, oh my God, like really? I didn't get the music to play these sorts of songs. But when they're offering you actually like decent amount of money, I'm kind of like, wow, maybe I can play Wagon Wheel or April Sun in Cuba, if I'm gonna make this from it. And it's actually a good way to promote the band too, and like after the show you get people coming up to you and talking to you, and you can also slip a couple of your originals in there. I think the Feelers, I remember reading an interview about them, and like they said back in the 90s, before they really like broke it big in New Zealand, they used to just play cover sets. They'd slip in a couple of originals, and then over time the audience would begin to know the originals, and I think that's what kind of gave them that boost in the early days. So yeah, it's definitely an avenue to take. Yeah.
I would deem Holy Crime to be kind of a mainstream band. That's not meant to be like an insult, or I don't want you to take offense from that.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah, I agree.
If you were playing like sort of a mainstream, sort of everybody's favorite tracks like April Sun in Cuba and Wagon Wheel, obviously, um, and you did slip in a couple of Holy Crime songs, they wouldn't be so jarringly different.
No, I think it actually works. And it was funny. One of the gigs we did, we added Crystal in amongst the covers, and I remember our drummer Matt, his mum Sonia, she was saying, "Oh, when you guys were playing that, my friends came up to me and they were like, oh, we don't know this song, but it's really good, and it was one of ours." So yeah, I think if your band is able to do it, then why not go for it?
Particularly since you want to break into the more like mainstream radio market as well. So I mean, that's kind of, it could actually serve your purposes better than perhaps most bands.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So what have you got planned for the rest of the year?
A few of the boys are sort of going away on holiday and that. So once everybody kind of settles down, we'll probably just get back into it.
Weren't you going to Bali last time we spoke? You were going over to Bali.
Yeah. We popped around to Bali. Myself, Tom, and Matt, and their girlfriends. We went over to Bali, and it was a hell of a time. Loved it. And it's funny enough, the song "Nowhere Bound," we got up in a bar one night and we performed that to the crowd and that over there. And there's a video of it somewhere. I'm not sure where it is, but so that was really cool. So that was our first taste of actually performing our own music overseas.
So as far as the band's concerned, though, what's the band doing for the rest of the year?
Well, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind us hitting the studio as soon as possible again. Getting these new songs out. Our main focus this year, though, we were just chatting about it last night, is our live performances. We really want to focus on just how we are as a band on stage, from everything from sort of performance, stage presence to just vocals all being in sync with each other and backing vocals. We just played Ding Dong Lounge's Battle of the Bands back in October, and the thing they do is, at the end, the judges come up to you and they give you particular criticisms about your performance, and they said to us, vocally, I'm a very deep singer, and they're like, oh, you got a good voice in that, but when you perform your songs live, once they hit the chorus, they don't really lift, Whereas in the studio recordings, yeah, we can do things to make it sound a bit more bigger in the chorus, but live we were sort of struggling to do it. So we're going to work on backing vocals, and then I might get a choreographer to do a few lessons with us and just sort of teach us our movements so we don't look too awkward on stage, get more of an image going, yeah, and just work on our live craft. Really, I think that's a really important thing.
I think I did mention something about your vocals last time when we did the Playtoy interview. I was saying how when the vocal line goes into the chorus, it doesn't go up.
Yeah, maybe feel so free. Yeah,
maybe that's a similar thing. Maybe you need to work on that transition, perhaps.
I'm the kind of guy that if somebody gives me critiques like that, I don't get offended by it. It's funny enough. Every time I hear Playtoy now and I hear that line, I think of what you said. I'm like, hey, he's right. He's fucking right. I should have done it like that. And so yeah, every time I get advice like that, I think about it and I work on it. And yeah, that's definitely something. But because my voice is so low, I think having Jacob and Dom come in with a harmony could maybe lift that, So you made me feel so damn free. They could be backing me up on that to give it a bit of lift, So there's a lot of avenues we could take. Yeah.
Right. It looks like we're going to run out of time shortly, and Zoom's going to boot us off. So, is there anything else you'd like to add to the interview before we sign off?
Not at all. Just telling everybody out there, go check out the new track, Nowhere Bound, and keep an eye out for the EP. It'll be coming eventually.
I'll speak to you later on, maybe when the when the tour's going ahead or whatever, when you got that sorted out.
Yeah, awesome, bro. All right. Thank you. Have a good night, man.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Later, everybody.
And thanks for watching.